Welcome to an Alternate Hue. I'm Hugh Anderson, and this is some of what came across my desk this week. Without firing a shot, 7 weeks of unemployment claims wiped out decades of employment gains. Now, history is going to be the judge of whether we responded appropriately and proportionately to the COVID-19 pandemic, but for now, we just get to assess the economic damage. So let's first start with national employment. Notice, if you can, the barely perceptible blip during the not-so-great recession compared to the most recent numbers. This isn't going to be your garden variety recession. But the stock market doesn't seem to agree with this dour assessment of mine. So what gives? Is the bad news old news? If you look at this chart, you'll see the big drop we had in March, which is 30-something% down, and then we had a big bounce in April, which was 30% something up. And yet the market hasn't achieved the all-time highs that it was enjoying back in January and February. So in reality, something else might be up. Significant market drops portend a changing of the guard and follow a very distinct pattern. The initial drop is caused by a catalyst which sparks a market decline, shown as Exhibit A. This decline was just waiting for something to start the process. COVID-19 was just the ticket. A plunge in oil prices added fuel to the fire, pun intended. Once the initial selling abates, the bargain hunters emerge. There are numerous varieties. Some are long-term buyers, others buy for the bounce, and many believe the worst is over. This is labeled Exhibit B. For you Monty Python fans, this is the "tis but a scratch" phase. Finally, when the realization sets in that true damage has been done to the economy, Wave C commences. This phase usually declines in a less dramatic fashion, but tends to persist for a longer period. Recently, the Bank of England forecast that the UK recession will be the worst in 300 years, and they have the records to prove it. 300 years is a very long time. I can show many examples of ABC declines, for anybody who asks. Spikes in stock market volatility also indicate a change in market leadership going forward. Could it be some of the most highly coveted companies will show their true colors in the trying times? Perhaps underneath their high-tech veneer, we'll discover very pedestrian traits, such as being a simple advertising company. And advertising budgets are one of the first things to get cut during recessions. Or perhaps Justice Department entanglements will stifle continued stratospheric profitability. A certain computer company provided excellent returns for decades until the U.S. Justice Department decided they exercised too much market clout, and for 10 years the stock went essentially nowhere. Government activism is a theme that we should consider going forward. That could be part of the changing of the leadership that we should expect. Onshoring of industries is another theme to watch. Many consider the Midwest of the U.S. to be one of the best emerging markets as industry comes home. So as the stock market sends confusing messages about the state of the economy, it's best to watch the fundamental inputs that drive the economy. Rail and truck traffic, the price of commodities like copper, and of course, interest rates. They will be a good guide to what the future holds. Caffeine aficionados may run on Dunkin', but the country runs on rails. And before we go, let's remember the passing of an American icon, Ken Osmond, otherwise known as Eddie Haskell. May he rest in peace. And no one's ever compared me to Eddie Haskell. Thank you for watching An Alternate Hue. I'm Hugh Anderson. Until next time.